All right, I think we're recording, but hey guys, welcome to the first week of Fantasy Playoff League Win. This is really late, but nevertheless, we had a Christmas party to go to, and it was a lot of fun. So here I am late, starting at 11 o'clock, but hey, it's all good. This will be nice, quick, and easy. I'm going to give a quick breakdown of what everyone went down, excuse me, in the last few games. We'll get into next week's matchup as we are in the semifinals this week. It's going to be exciting. I know a game was just played tonight, and we'll touch on that here in a little bit. So, all right, starting out, Matthew and I beat the bye week. It was tough. It was uphill sledding, but we got it through. Came out the other side better, and moving into our first real matchup, I guess this week now, who played tonight. So, quick breakdown. Let's talk about what just happened last week so everyone sits going into the Saga race and into the real race. So, big story here, BMO, up-and-coming Cinderella story this year, takes down Riley by 2 points, 92-90. Insane game, insanely close. Came down to Monday night. Looking at it, unexpectedly, Julio Jones got a little better, but Philip Rivers had a huge game for BMO. Riley, not so much with Josh McCown, with the gentleman's -1. Did not help him there. Kareem Hunt tried to get Riley over the hump as much as possible, but the performance was not there for his other team. So Riley goes down. Shocker there. If you remember, if you watched last week, I think I had Riley Matthew be the real championship game. They've been our high scorers this season. Also, into the other main real championship bracket, B-Wade handles Brennan pretty handily, 116-91. If we dive in, just a quick overview analysis there. Brennan had pretty solid performance from the people from his studs. Pretty solid, 13 to 15 points across. Usually gets it done. However, Greg Olson putting up a goose egg. Robbie Anderson putting up 4. That's just not going to get it done. B-Wade, great performance there. Had consistent performance pretty much top to bottom. I know Kenny Stills had only 2 points, but made up for it with Drew Brees putting up over 20. Darius Landry going off again in that Monday night game, that win over New England, with 20 and other defense, and your kicker doing good, getting you the win there. So now Brennan looks to rebound versus Riley in the winner's consolation bracket next week. That will be a good, fun thing to watch and see if Riley can bounce back with his offensive numbers, even though it's for playing for dignity and not for money this time. Jumping to the consolation ladder, essentially, these are this week's scores. Let me jump back. Jumping to the consolation ladder, Chris, top scorer of the week in the consolation ladder, and it wasn't even close. Colin let Chris do what he shouldn't have let him do and win. So Chris 4-9, top was Colin at 6 and 7. Chris looking strong to not end up in the Saga spot. Colin dragged back down into the rabble. Sorry, the cat's being weird. Let's see. Looking at the Battle of the Bottoms with Nick and Matt. Matt comes winner here, 114-101. Nick is grabbing on to that power bottom spot. Will and Steve. Steve gets a win over Will. We'll see how that pans out, but yeah, Steve probably the de facto last place, but we'll see what other, like the participating members of the league who ends up for Sacco. So the people get a loss tonight. You better bring the game this week because it's going to be a bloodbath down there. So that's all I got for this week. If we jump into this week, which has actually already happened between, I think it was the Colts and the Broncos. I think we'll all find out here in just 2 seconds. So with that left with, so BMO toppling Riley, pretty big upset of the week. Now faces Matthew Buzzsaw, 12-1 for a reason, puts up insane points. Jump into that matchup. BMO's going to need another insane game from Philip Rivers. Lamar Miller's a little banged up. Going to need huge points from him. Julio's playing Tampa Bay. It's good to watch. It'll be really interesting to watch versus a weaker team. I think Tampa Bay has already called it in and is aiming for that top 3 draft spot, essentially. Playing with them, the Browns, and the Giants is going to be the worst team this year. So Julio has a chance to go off there. Golden Tate, they've been surging as of late. Chicago's defense is not what it was or has been in recent years. So good chance to go off there. He's going to need every last point versus Matthew's gauntlet this year, which is Gurley, Antonio Brown, Tyreek Hill kind of coming out of that. It's going to be a really interesting matchup to watch with Antonio Brown and the Patriots defense. Patriots defense is going to have to shut Antonio Brown down. It could be a pretty good point swing. Really, either way, the more Antonio Brown scores, yes, it gains points for Matthew, but it's going to hurt BMO with the Patriots D. So a matchup with me that I'll touch on in a minute with B-Wade. This New England Browns game, a lot of firepower, a lot of star players. It's going to make or break some games this week to see who's going on. So very interesting to watch. Dion Lewis for Matthew. Dion Lewis, blast from the past being relative for the running back crew, but putting up some good points. It is going to be hard. BMO has an uphill battle. I think it's an Appalachian State, Michigan type of situation. No, I think BMO can do it, but he's going to need a lot of his studs to be at or near their ceiling to do it, and hope Matthew has some hiccups along the way. So switching over to mine and B-Wade's matchup, which actually has score right now. Looking at it right now, I'm currently sitting at an 11 to 8 lead over B-Wade. I think that really means much. Frank Gore for B-Wade put up 8.3 points. I had the Broncos defense, which sat at 11, so not crazy awesome, but not bad either. A little banged up on each side. Tevin Coleman and DeAndre Hopkins are questionable going into this week. Leonard Fournette hasn't been practicing much this week, so that's another key thing to watch for B-Wade going into Sunday. Another huge thing is B-Wade gets Gronk back. He was suspended last week. Still gets the win, pushes on. That's going to be huge. I know that was questionable for him last week. So he gets a stud back. However, another stud, Leonard Fournette, has been questionable this week. So we'll see. I'm in the same boat. I'm going to need Tevin Coleman and DeAndre Hopkins especially to heal up as he faces the questionable Jacksonville defense. It's been pretty good this year. Not great, and still giving up some points. Big thing here, Josh Gordon is back for the Browns and has put up pretty good points for the past 2 weeks. So I'm going to need him. I'm basing a lot on him to get some points to carry me into this final. We will see what happens there. So currently 11 to 8 lead over B-Wade. I'm currently projected to win, but by 3 or 4 points. But I think those projections are kind of BS anyway. So it'll be interesting to see. So, and just for reference, BMO and Matthew have not started yet. They're currently sitting at 0-0. So yeah, those are the two remaining playoff games. It'll be interesting to see who makes it. I'm a little nervous. I think B-Wade beat me pretty decently back in the regular season, so I'll see if I can get revenge on him. Maybe not to send B-Wade, but either way, pending a huge upset, either B-Wade or I are looking at Matthew, which has been basically gone from worst to first this year. It's been pretty crazy turnaround. So cool stuff happening there. Like I mentioned earlier, we have Brennan and Riley with Winner's Consolation. That'll be good. We'll see if Riley bounces back versus Brennan, but Brennan easily can pull an upset there. Jumping down into the consolation ladder where the race for Sacco heats up. So again, Chris and Matt coming off both wins. Chris, a big win from last week, being the top scorer. That game is now underway at 9-0 in Chris's favor. Chris is going to need his players have been killing it. I know there's aggression in there due to happen somewhere, but it's like the wave. You just got to ride it. Until it's not, and with nothing left to lose. Chris has got to ride it. So that's going to be a good matchup there. Colin and Steve, good matchup there. Colin had a hiccup with Chris. That's worth noting too. Colin had pretty strong points. He would have beaten over half the league with 117, I think, last week. So he'll look to get on track here to avoid Sacco. Now for the double battle of the bottoms part 2. Nick earned that power bottom title over Will. Let's see if Will loses. He'll get the power bottom. If Nick loses here, it is going to be tough. That will be a whole climb out of the last week. That game is underway as well. Excuse me. That game is underway. Nick is currently winning 8-2. So with that, again, trying to make this short. trying to get the time in. Again, I know I'm late. I'm sorry. Y'all probably sleep. See you in the morning. But I hope y'all had a great week. If I don't see, I'm sure I'll talk to y'all. But yeah, everyone have a great weekend. Yeah, that's all I got. Excited for the games this weekend. It's definitely going to be intense. I do not recall having a season where it's been this close and this intense. Even in the Sacco constellation ladders, I know we added that punishment to spice things up. But yeah, it's great. Hope y'all are doing great. That's all I got for you guys tonight. So see ya.